Hello, my name is Alevtina Madiarova, and our Pride project continues to monitor the success of Kazakh people around the world. Today, I welcome you in Paris, where, as it turned out, Kazakh culture is warmly welcomed. This is probably a dream job when you go to another country to meet our people who became famous worldwide and managed to remain Kazakh. Today, we present a new Pride program. This time, the capital of France is waiting for us. There is again a meeting and again an occasion for pride. These young Kazakh ladies are united by love for music, culture, France, and Kazakhstan. They are ambitious and full of desire to change the world around them. Due to their courage and excitement, they were able to open a center for the study of the Kazakh language and culture in the center of Paris. After a couple of years, Korkut Cultural Center became widely recognized and soon it was registered officially. Then they found a space and received some financial support. True enthusiasts who love their culture and have hopes for a great future created Korkut Center. Now, we're going to share their story. We came here to interview founders of Korkut Cultural Center, pianist Aigerim Mataeva and multi-instrumentalist Aigerim Ersainova. Certainly, the history of each of these girls is worth of a separate story. They are typical representatives of the future generation. These people bring knowledge about us to the world. They tell about our traditions and culture, how we live, and what we are striving for. Reference: Aigerim Mataeva. She was born on September 12, 1986 in Karaganda. She graduated from Kazakh National Academy of Music. She's the winner of Bolshak Program Scholarship, laureate of many prestigious international competitions, teacher at the Slavic Music Conservatory in Paris. She performs with orchestras and has solo performances. She's a co-founder of Kazakh Cultural Center Korkut and the Cultural Center Art Ambassador in France. Lives in France. We met with Aigerim as well as with many other musicians at the same concert in Paris organized by the Association of Kazakh People of France for the 25th anniversary of Kazakhstan's independence. A couple of years later, we met again. I don't know why, but I try to imagine Aigerim Mataeva as a little girl, and it seems to me that I will meet a fragile, beautiful girl who sits and studies for hours. Yes, you're right. My mother played an important role in my career as a musician. When I was 3 years old, my mother had already bought me an instrument. She has already decided that I would be a musician. I went to school at the age of 6. I studied at Karaganda Specialized Music School. This is one of the respected schools as well as by Saitov and Zhubanov music schools. She was optimistic. She worked a lot with me. She also has a musical education, and she went to school with me. She wrote everything what teachers told us. We went to various competitions together. We also went to Novosibirsk. We came to Paris to take part in the international competition. I took part in many competitions in Kazakhstan too, and of course I had amazing teachers. Natalia Ivanovna Dmitrieva was my teacher in Karaganda. The classes were 3 times a week, but she could teach us every day for 3 to 4 hours. I even spent the nights at her home. Aigerim's appearance and even her manner of playing the piano tell a lot about her hard-working character. She's persistent, ambitious, and undoubtedly hard-working girl who has already achieved a lot. But she never enjoys what she has. She has plans and works a lot. Maybe due to this, she's strict to her students. Although she's a demanding teacher, later her students will remember her with gratitude. Have you ever felt that you are tired from music classes and daily rehearsals? Have you ever thought, oh, I do not want to see the piano again? Of course, when I was a small girl and stayed at home to play the piano, at that time other children had fun and played outside. They were free to do what they wanted. As for me, I had a certain schedule, and for example, I could walk for an hour and then had to go home for classes. Once Russian professor Negauz said that mother should be talented and persistent because learning is the most important thing. You can surely say that your mother contributed to your becoming a musician, and without her support you were not able to achieve success. It's not even about classes. It's very important to play piano for 5 or 6 hours a day, especially when you've forgotten some things. You have to train every day, as athletes do. Discipline is also very important. What is the main component of success? Discipline, desire, and dream. A happy confluence of circumstances or a meeting? You cannot tell. But much of what has been achieved today is created by joint efforts. It is my pleasure to introduce you to one more remarkable girl, whose name is also Aigerim. That girl is in a beautiful national costume, captivates the hearts of European music lovers with the sounds of a kobez, zhetgen, and other national Kazakh instruments. Aigerim Ersainova. She was born on February the 12th, 1995 in Taraz. At the age of 5, she entered Kulaj Baisitova Specialized Music School for Gifted Children in Almaty. And after graduation, she entered Zhubanov Music School in the Kil Kobez class. She's a graduate of Kulaj Baisitova Boarding School. She's a graduate of Zhubanov Specialized Music School. She's a graduate of Kazakh National University of Arts and University of Houston. Currently, she has been studying at Higher School of Fine Arts in Paris. Laureate of international competitions, she plays zhetgen, kukobez, shankobez, sasernai. Well, if we talk about childhood, then I went to Kulaj Baisitova Music School at the age of 5. I went to the traditional kobez instrument class. My teacher was Aliya Moldikarimova. She's one of the leading kobez performers in Kazakhstan. She was first who performed abroad. After I transferred to Ahmed Zhubanov School, I changed my instrument to Kil Kobez because I really liked the teacher, and I studied more about this instrument and understood that I wanted to play Kil Kobez. Why did you start playing Kil Kobez? I don't know why, but I decided to play this instrument when I was 15. I wanted to quit music. I do not know why this happened. The final examinations influenced, or other things maybe. I wanted to quit music and went to the US to learn language and management. A year later, I returned and entered the Academy of Arts and started to study with Ayman Kojabekovna in the class of Kil Kobez. What played the decisive role? Aigerim was young and wanted to try something new. But then she grew up and understood that music is the most important part of her life, especially national music, was inside of her young soul. Nowadays, the musicians play kobez at every Kazakh event and holiday. Kobez became popular among representatives of almost all Turkic-speaking cultures represented in Paris. Now, kobez is the main instrument, but not the only one. Aigerim plays 4 instruments, and this, I believe, is not the limit. Earlier shamans played on kobes. This instrument has a unique power and energy. You can feel its energy while you perform. It stays with you. Also, when I moved to Paris afterwards, I said that I did not even think that I would be able to play kobes. But this happened. I was invited to participate in concerts and festivals. I'm very grateful to my instrument because it played an important role in my life. It also played the role in opening of the cultural center, even its name. Did it show its character? Yes, it has a character. Yes, I'm certainly glad that I'm playing the traditional instruments and I'm always close to my roots. I play when I'm sad. I play when I'm happy. It is a great pleasure to see this creative and business duet. After all, on the one hand, these Kazakh girls living in Paris have something in common, but at the same time, they are very different. Their duet can be described as ice and fire, but we can assume that some difference of natures only benefits the general idea. The girls complement each other, and their business is developing. Well, generally speaking, I see how such young and ambitious girls are obsessed with their personal success. They have ambitious goals and aspire to achieve success. Whose idea was it to open the center? I came to Paris 5 years ago and knew that there is no Kazakh center. I thought I will have a child one day, and I would be glad if my children can go to the Kazakh center. Maybe they will not speak the Kazakh language, but in any case, they will know the traditions. It's clear that they will go to Kazakhstan, but it is important they can go to Kazakh classes to learn a song, a poem, a dance in Paris too. This is what I was thinking about when decided to open the center. And I was really inspired to open the center. And then Aigerim came and we already started to discuss what to do. Yes, we started to implement the project this way. Aigerim also said that every musician has plans for creating his own little school or academy with musicians. First of all, when I came here as a musician of traditional instruments, the embassy started to invite me to the events. I met with Kazakh children adopted by French citizens at one of such events. There was a cocktail party and we started talking with parents. Then they said that it's a pity that there was no Kazakh cultural center and their children go to the Russian cultural center. They said that children can be somehow closer to the culture. At this moment we started to talk with Aigerim how it is essential to open the center. We thought that we are both musicians and have had experience in this area and we should initiate this project. And here we are together. Our thoughts, plans and dreams coincide and we started this project. The activities of our compatriots are now more closely connected with Korkut Center. The center has become a kind of turning point in their Parisian life. The annual Nowruz holiday is widely celebrated in Paris. Most importantly, the number of people wishing to study our culture and language is growing too. Nowruz became one of the most exciting and memorable events in the chronicle of Korkut Center. The girls organized the event for the first time 3 years ago. It started as a small party for a group of fellow countrymen and friends and eventually turned into an event that people know and wait for. The main holiday of Turkic people was held on the Louvre Square in 2018. It brought together not only admirers of the Turkic culture but also Parisians and tourists who have never heard about Nowruz. After we took this room, we created a program with Aigerim. We have met people who are also ready to teach and organize something interesting for our diaspora for free. Children are now visiting us. They are learning the Kazakh language. We had an art creative, where they created all sorts of yurts, ornaments, and had music lessons. You mean small-scale models? Yes, they are absolutely different. They sewed such small patchwork quilts. Of course, we have music. I mean, I play the piano. In addition to other well-known works, we certainly perform Kazakh folk songs, such as Karligash and so on, mostly Kazakh ones, right? Yes, so that children would memorize music at the same time. But mostly our audience consists of children who come to us, adopted children. And the most interesting thing, parents are very interested, and they want children to know their roots, learn their language, culture. They attend all music events and concerts. Children are very open. French people turned out to be rather curious to everything that is connected with our region, and the interest is slowly but surely increasing. After all, not only natives of Kazakhstan and their children study at the Korket, but also native Parisians, who were tempted to know more about Kazakhstan. Listen, this is fantastic. On the one hand, it seems that this idea was lying on the surface, but on the other hand, much courage is needed to take and realize this. People seem to need years to implement this, but you just did it. We have noticed with Aigerim that many people say to us, "You're doing such serious projects and big things." For us, it's not that easy, but we are somehow filled with enthusiasm, or maybe because of our youth. We can actually work till the deep night to create some scenario. When we created the Korket, we invested our money, even the last one, to buy something or create something. Pure enthusiasts. At first we take, then we think how we would implement it. Exactly. At first we take. Maybe this is our advantage. We do not give up, whatever happens. Well, the true Kazakh never goes back, but always forward. Yes, we should go ahead. We're happy that the center is now flourishing. People already recognize it, and other cultural centers and embassies know and treat us warmly. They also know Korket. He's the grandfather who created the instrument kobыз in the 7th century, and he's also a great-grandfather of other stringed instruments. There are Korket schools, universities in Turkey, Azerbaijan. He's a grandfather of the Turkic people's countries, and we united all our countries here under his name. The girls have been boldly implementing the project without looking back. They organized the event of the Kazakh culture in the framework of the Cannes Film Festival in the summer of 2018. Without much experience, but with desire. It was scary, but they did it.
Вот вы говорите, что вы так все насколько по-студенчески рванули вперед, понесло.
Well, you say that you started this work, being brave students, rushed forward and made it. But do you understand without exaggeration that you are now? Taking the first steps to enter history in general, you realize what serious things are going up. In fact, it is very important for us to keep this project alive, even if, for some reason, we leave Paris or something else. We wanted to keep developing and have its followers who would be happy to do this, not for money, of course. Because it's not a matter of money at all, it's a different story. With a soul, a patriotic will. Right now, a lot of French and other foreigners are interested in our culture. We were repeatedly approached by the Sorbonne professors. They need some materials about Kazakhstan. Someone wants to go to Kazakhstan. Kazakh language surprisingly attracts more adults. This year, we have 5 French adults learning the Kazakh language. We have one student, Charles. He speaks, reads poems of Abay Kunanbayev. More and more people learn about our center and open the Kazakh culture and nation for themselves. Dimash Kudaibergen is very popular in France. He even has his own fan club here. then Somalia Sliamova, who received the Best Actress award in Cannes. She's well known here. More and more people talk about Kazakhstan. Previously, people knew a little about our country, or someone had even associations with Borat. But now, in France at least, Kazakhstan is well known. Besides common aspirations, each of our Aigerim has her own story, own romance with Paris, and, of course, own personal plans. Last but not least, this concerns personal life. Aigerim Mataeva met her French prince being a student.
Все, что вы сказали, все связано с работой, все связано с вашими проектами. А что о личном?
Well, all that you said is connected with work, your projects. What about your personal life?
Что называется, для собственного удовольствия, что это же есть помимо работы.
Well, I've been married for 3 years. And I'll probably always ask, is he a Frenchman? Frenchman. When I was leaving, my friends said, oh, you will meet probably some Pierre there. Well, my husband's name is Pierre. He's a true Frenchman. He has curly, beautiful hair. And a scarf. A scarf. You're a Frenchman. Well, not Pierre Richard. Well, by the way, his classmates called him so. Because you look like him. I hope that in 20 years we will have the same feelings as now. There will be little children. Maybe not so little in 20 years. And I would like, of course, that there was more of my way of life, that we can work somewhere remotely, that is, go to some island and work from there. That's my dream. That is, not to be tied to some specific workplace. Several years ago, the story of her marriage stirred the minds of the girls dreaming of the prince. After all, when the young people met, she was a student of the Bolshak, and she did not doubt that after completing her studies, she would return to Kazakhstan. But the prince in love was persistent and ready for anything. He gave all his savings to pay for the scholarship of the student and persuaded her to stay with him in France. Aigerim brought home to France in the form of Korket, an art ambassador. The second Aika is also married, and her plans do not fit even within one continent. Your husband is a Frenchman as well? No, he's an American. He has roots in Lvov. He has been working in Kazakhstan for almost 10 years. He loves our culture very much. Since he has been used to it for 10 years, he knows all Kazakh features. I met him in Astana before leaving for Paris, and somehow we began to communicate with him at a distance. Within 3 years, we became dearest people to each other, and our relations have developed into deep feelings. Well, actually, 1 month ago, we got engaged in Paris, organized a wedding here, invited our relatives. We had such a small wedding with relatives. Well, we are connecting our personal life with children. We want to make the living comfortable for both of us. Classical people of the 21st century, you think broad and not only outside the country, but outside the continent, surprisingly. The difference in culture do not become a hindrance to common interests, because, as a result, there will be more traditions and customs in the family, and the life of a young couple promises to be brighter. The wedding, for example, was organized according to all Kazakh customs. There were traditional songs, saukele, and kobыз, of course. The relatives of the groom also did not stand aside, and as a result, the newlyweds had an electric and very emotional celebration, which was remembered both by the guests and young people. Young girls, as it should be, have a lot of plans. But still, how do they see themselves and their current project in 20 years? Let's try to run ahead and imagine each of you in 20 years. Where do you see yourself in the future? So in 20 years, well, if we talk about the center, I'll see that I hope that it'll have its own building. This will be one of such large, beautiful promises of cultural Paris. Like that? Like that, why not? Anything's possible with the Kazakhstan flag. With the Kazakhstan flag in the middle of Paris. An ambitious goal. After all, this is perhaps the quality of all our people. Without the aim for a great real success, it is not easy to conquer cities and countries. Our girls keep in touch with other Kazakhs, many of whom are familiar to our audience. The traditions are very important.
Вы сотрудничаете с нашими же музыкантами, теми, которые работают в других странах.
And you cooperate with our musicians and those who work in other countries. I remember a wonderful concert that was dedicated to the 25th anniversary of independence, where almost all Kazakhs from Europe gathered. And it was so incredible. Such events happen frequently. As for me, yes, at that time the initiator was Berlin Kazhitayevich, president of the Association of Kazakh People, and there was indeed such a powerful concert by Amir Tebenikin, Marat Visangaliyev. And we talked with them and shared our experience. It was a very warm meeting, and we studied at the same schools, either in Astana or Almaty. We all know each other. It was so warm and sincere event. Thanks to Berlin Kazhitayevich, who initiated that concert. This time Yerzhan Kulibayev came. It was also very pleasant to play with him. Then they said that it is possible that this year we will also come up with something in Paris. Maybe we will meet in Madrid. But it's very cool that such an exchange is going on. Do you keep in touch? Oh, sure. It is not a secret that when your life is going away from your home, you miss own roots in a special way. It was repeatedly noted by our heroes. You see, the evening was a great success. All the pilaf was eaten immediately in 5 minutes. I know for sure that the Kazakh cuisine is loved everywhere, even in France. And so, if not ironically, a really good evening, a good holiday. I've been here all the time, basically in Paris. And last year I also performed there. Therefore, I always see great interest. Our compatriots come. I think it's interesting for everyone. As a place of a meeting. On this day, of course, it is necessary to see each other.
Приходят наши земляки с Казахстана, всем интересно, я думаю, это место встречи. Вот. В этот день, конечно, это надо именно повидаться.
In addition to music and treats, it was possible to meet guests in beautiful clothes with national motives.
Я думаю, что когда мы далеки от родины,
I think that when we are far from our homeland, I do not know why we feel to be more patriotic. One would feel the country, traditions, own roots better. In Paris and France, people are very interested in who you are, where you're from, what your language and traditions are. Therefore, I'm very proud to demonstrate the beauty of our national dress. Our compatriots once again surprised not only the cities and countries where they live, but me. After all, communication like this is a great pleasure and an occasion for inspiration. The Korkut Center finally gets its permanent premises and official support of the Kazakh embassy in France. Thus, Nowruz and other holidays will become bigger and brighter, and the meetings of Kazakh people living in Europe will be more regular. Now, we know that if you would feel homesick in France, you can easily find a piece of Kazakh soul here. In Paris and London, Bombay and New York, Kazakh people can achieve success absolutely everywhere. However, staying with us. This is our pride. See you later. Your Alevtina Matieva.
Алевтина Мадьярова.